Hello, Virgo, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racey, and I'm going to be doing the reading for you today. It is a general message, so take it as it resonates and leave it if it doesn't. If it doesn't, don't force it to fit. There are plenty of other wonderful readers here on YouTube that, may resonate with you more at this time. For those of you not familiar with me or the channel, I have no filter. Anything can come out of my mouth. So, if that is not your thing, or you have children around, or you just don't appreciate that, I respect that, and I'm always giving you the opportunity to sign off now. Otherwise, Virgo, we're going to get into your November energies. I am using my Kim Kranz archetype cards from her Wild Unknown series for an overall, archetypal theme or energy for the month. And then I'm going to be getting into my vice versa tarot to pull some insights into the energies of each week for you. Okay, so without further ado, Virgo, Spirit, what energies, what archetypal energies or theme will Virgo be experiencing for the month of November? What archetypal energy or theme is Virgo experiencing for November? What archetypal energy or theme is Virgo experiencing for November? Last shuffle. What archetypal energy or theme? What card above all other cards, Spirit, for Virgo? What card above all other cards for Virgo? Energy and theme for the month of November. There it is. Ooh, we've got the shadow. We've got the shadow. I heard the phrase moving in the shadows, almost like sneaking in the shadows, moving through them. I'm getting the imagery of like someone whose back is to the wall with their hands like feeling across the wall, like wherever they're going, like they're feeling their way through the dark by hugging the walls, is the imagery that I'm getting. Hugging the walls, moving through the shadows, feeling your way. Let's read some. It's card number 28. The shadow. The unspeakable, the unwelcome, the denied. Although every card in the archetypes deck has a shadow potential, this card asks us to delve into the qualities of the shadow itself. We often think that the shadow can be purified, illuminated, and made right through effort and achievement. However, it is typically the case that our lofty pursuit of ascension and perfection is the very source of shadow material itself. By rejecting parts of ourselves and the world, we begin to separate from the whole. Rather than getting to know the qualities and content of our shadow, we busy ourselves with avoiding its presence. This is denial. When this card appears, it is time to take inventory of those things you've been denying. When the mind responds with no, anything but that, you are touching shadow. Find support for this deep inner work and move forward. The shadow. Move toward the shadow with patience and compassion. Revealing unconscious aspects of the self and the world versus denying unconscious aspects of the self and the world. If you want to go deeper, you can look up Owning Your Own Shadow by R. Johnson. Contemplate the following scientific observation. The closer an object, a person, place, or community, is to the light, the longer the shadow it casts. In the shadow of the gods are the very gods themselves. Reflect on this statement by James Hillman in A Blue Fire. What do you despise about yourself? By answering, you move toward shadow. What do you despise about yourself? No, anything but that. No, anything but that. No, I don't want to talk about anything like that. Anything but that. I'll talk about anything but not that. I'll give up anything but not that. I could walk away from anything but not that. I can care about everything but not that. I could care about nothing but not that. What is it? Are you attached to an item you can't seem to let go of because there's shadow reality to face there that you don't want to face? Is there a part of your personality or a part of your character, a part of your essence, like your emotions? No, I don't want to talk about those. Anything but that. I don't want to give this up. Anything but that. For all of those things, the shadow keeping you from truly what I'm feeling is your greatest light. The more of that great light you face, the bigger the shadow is. The closer you are to it, the more shadow you're facing. But once you actually step into the light and you're in the light and the light surrounds you, there is no shadow when you're actually in the light. If you think about that. Because if you have the light here and it's shining on the object, the shadow is going to be back here. But if you have a 360-degree light, there is no shadow. The closer you get to the light, the longer your shadow is, the bigger the shadow is that you're facing and dealing with letting go of. But when you release the shadow, you actually can move into the light. This is about looking behind at the shadow. The closer and closer you get towards wanting to step into that light, the closer and closer you get to stepping in there, the more and more shadow stands behind you. The more and more shadow is attached to you, the longer and longer it seems to be. It was just 9/11 on the timer. This is like that 911 moment with the soul where it's like, do I fall before the light or do I truly do become it? Do I fall into my shadow and not face them, but fall into the darkness of the shadow where I don't want to see? Or being the light and looking at that shadow for what it was, which is a lesson in hindsight. Our shadows always teach us what we are capable of when we're afraid to let go of items because of sentiment or memory or who it was, you know, if someone special gave it to us, you know, God forbid someone who passed away. But if that person was here, not that item, that person was here to talk to them, would they tell you to keep that item over following your light, getting closer to your light? What's actually unhealed within that whole experience, right? This is shadow work. Virgo is experiencing shadow work, or cross watcher, it might be you, right? Could be someone you're watching it for. But the overall theme is shadow work. All right, really, we're already 11 minutes into the video. I didn't even get into the tarot yet. My gosh. Yeah, and just this, like, it looks like frost, but it also looks like bullet holes. It's so crazy the way they did the imagery on this card. It does. It looks like frost, but it also looks like bullet holes and shattered glass. So, you know, this is about addressing the wounds, right? This is about addressing the wounds. This is about addressing the wounds. Okay. So, Virgo. Spirit, give me 4 cards, please, with clarifiers for Virgo. What is going on in the month of November for Virgos? Break down the weeks for me. Break it down. Give me 4 cards, please. Give me 2 more. Alright, clarify the 2 of coins, back face and reversed. Clarify the King of Wands. Clarify the 9 of Swords. That's too many. Clarify the 9 of Swords, please. Really, out of all those cards, that one flew out. Clarify the Judgment card, please. Clarify the Judgment card for Virgo, please. Give me 1 more. Alright, I'll take them. At the end of the day, we've got the Chariot moving forward on the top of the deck and the 6 of Swords moving forward out of the cave and into the light on the bottom of the deck. We're definitely going from darkness to light here. We're going from the dark depths of the cave out into the light of day to calmer water. And we're moving towards the new dawn on the divine path, top and bottom of the deck. Virgo, this is a big month. This is a big month. At the beginning of the month, get the 2 of coins back-faced and reversed with the 4 of swords, clarifying it. This is the crowd pleasing. I'll put on a show here, I'll put on a show there, and everybody's happy. I'm a fucking sideshow or a street show. And at least they're happy and at least they're entertained in reverse. And I instantly heard, fuck everybody else. That's what I heard when I saw this. Fuck everybody else. I'm not doing this act anymore and retreating. And retreating. Feeling too fucking grown for this bullshit. Like you need a fucking break. First week of November. Like all those expectations other people have. Well, you need to be here. Well, you need to do this. Well, you need to do that. Well, you said you would be there and you said you'd call me this time or you never text me back. And Virgo is like, shut the fuck up. and leave me alone. Leave me alone. All these people want Virgo to put on a show. Because maybe Virgo was doing a very good job being everybody's entertainment. And now he said, leave me the fuck alone. I'm too grown for this bullshit. I'm literally hearing like yammering, like in the background. Like all these people just yammering. Like if Virgo could turn their phone off and throw it in the trash can and just leave it there for a few days, they would. They would. That's the kind of energy I'm feeling. First week of November. Virgo doesn't want to hear shit. Second week of November. King of Wands in the back face. The Eight of Swords, clarifying. This is mental imprisonment. There's a big fucking snake wrapped around their tree. Big demons. Big shadow work here. Big shadow work. That's what this is. This big snake. This is Virgo's dream life. Their tree of life. This beautiful tree of life. And it's wrapped. It's got this huge snake wrapped around it. And the king is looking at that snake like, if I go anywhere near that snake, it's going to fucking eat my head off. It'll come right off that tree and fucking put itself around me and choke me the fuck out. That's a big snake. It's too big for me with my wand. How am I going to get that snake off my tree? They have no idea. They have no idea how to get the fucking snake off the tree. No idea. They know the snake needs to come off the tree. This having to please or put on a show, it's like a false reality, a false life, a false... It's real, like it's their real life, but it feels false to the soul. They don't know why they're fucking there sometimes. It's almost like the book was saying, like you got so close to the light, you realize how big the shadow is. And you're asking yourself, the closer I get to this, you know, this light where everything is quote unquote perfect, is it really fucking perfect? It's got this huge shadow that's that hasn't been attended to. And in order to move into the light and escape the shadow, it's almost like all this shit has to disappear. The snake has to disappear. These are their demons. Their inner fears. Inner fears that say you're undeserving, you're unworthy. People are going to hate you. People are going to talk about you. People are going to judge you. People are going to criticize you. People are going to ignore you, block you, blow up your shit. You're going to lose this. You're going to lose that. You're going to be stripped of this. You're going to be without that. All of the fears are the fucking demons, and they're just wrapped around the tree. Virgo does not know what the fuck to do. Really, they're in this leave me the fuck alone energy. Don't know how to get out of my shadow. It's fear. It's fear of losing what the reality is, but knowing they hate the reality. So it's simply, how do I get out of the reality that I hate? Third week, we've got the Nine of Swords. The demons in the room, the shadows, are starting to manifest in the outer. They're starting to take shape. The fears are beginning to appear because the way wants to be shown. It wants to be seen. You want to move into the light. The way wants to be shown. So the shadows are the fears, the demons, the real demons are manifesting. They're manifesting. And it's coming up with a major confrontation. Someone might walk out in the middle of the night. Might be a major blow up between friends, or it's like I'm getting camaraderie. Could be between a boss, or with a boss or a coworker, but I'm hearing camaraderie. For some, it's someone like a brother. Someone like a brother. Like, no, not that. I'm gonna get in a huge fight or blowout with that person. Well, if you want to get out of the reality you hate, and you want people to stop calling you, and you want people to stop bothering you, and people to stop blowing up your shit, and you don't want to feel like your whole life is being choked the fuck out and there's nothing you can do, you might have to face the real fact that you've got to walk away from someone who's like, maybe like a brother to you. Because it's blocking the way into the light and away from your shadows. And that's the fucking truth, because we get the Judgment card. We get the Judgment card. Came out clarified by the Knight of Cups, the Four of Coin, and the Five of Coin in the reverse. At the end of the day, you know what you gotta give up to get what you actually really want, and to get out of the nightmare that you're in. This is like a living reality nightmare. There might even be family involved. Children in the mix. And it's going up for judgment. It's a resurrection in this space. You could see the gravestones. There's resurrection here, present. This could be ending one relationship and burying it in order to revive another. The Judgment card with the shadow cast of the eagle across the sun. This is the shadow of spirit communicating to you. In the light. Because you can see the eagle itself isn't casting a shadow. It's a shadow with almost in the light. Like you could see it inside the light, but there's no actual shadow of the eagle anywhere. Because it's in the light. It's like spirit telling you, in the light. You gotta come in the light, and you cast no shadow. These clarifiers. It's requiring someone, I'm hearing, to come out of their shell. Come out of protect self mode. Still wearing their armor, but coming out from the shadow. Coming out from the night, right out of the shadow. In order to regain solid stability with the Four of Coins in the back face. This is firm footing. This is a very solid reality. This is something that makes sense. This is mirrors. This is symmetry and mirror. All elements present. This is a stable reality. A very stable reality being moved towards. Releasing this energy of feeling alone and trapped in the reality. Trapped in this reality. Releasing this. The confines of life, being trapped inside the building with your mind a fucking mess because it's dealing with shadows, fears. When you overcome the fear, Spirit's like, join me inside the light, leave your shadows behind. You will have a beautiful, stable beginning and a reconciliation. I just heard reconciliation. You will finally release the torture, the mental torture. I feel like someone's being asked to leave their job. I feel like someone might even be asked to, in addition to their job, leave their partner. There might be kids. Like, this is the absolute shadow battle that someone is having. This is a major shadow battle within the self. And at the end of the day, I feel like this is towards, well, this is the third week. I feel like this is, I'm just picking up after the 17th. Maybe right around when Mercury retrograde is ending. I think you're afraid of a big blow up, and or afraid of a confrontation, or afraid of a conversation that you know is going to be had, because you've got to walk away from it. It's choking everything. I feel like it's the one big thing in the way, even if there's a bunch of other little things. It's the one thing, like, please, no, not that. Like, no, not my job, or no, not that person. They're gonna be so mad at me. Like, I'm gonna burn bridges with, you know, a brother or a comrade. Because you don't know how to get the fuck out of the situation you're in, the reality you're in, and you can't stay in that reality. Because I feel like you are definitely trying to please two completely different arenas, like work life, home life. Work life and home life. You're trying to please all of these people, and you're like, fuck all this. Like, I don't want to deal with any of this. I don't want to deal with any of them. I want to be alone. I don't want to humor you. I don't want to humor them. And I feel like that snake is feeding off of those scenarios. I feel like you've got to dip. Virgo. Somebody has some kind of communication or confrontation coming, and I think they know it. I think it was one of their worst case scenarios, like nightmares. Like, don't want to face that. But knowing that once they face it, it's like the worst is finally over. Like, the snake is finally gone. Like, stability can actually start coming in. Reconciling things in the heart space can actually start coming in. The release of mental torture and torment is actually coming to an end. It's like a judgment day of it's like they're having a judgment day towards the end of the month, the end of November. Yeah. So Virgo, I hope this helps. I hope the insight helps, because sometimes when we catch things in hindsight, you know, we're always in control of our path. You can handle it accordingly ahead of time, and it doesn't have to be thrown on you, or be pressured onto you, or you know, pushed to the breaking point kind of thing. Like, if the truth resonates and it helps you understand, then you can have that advance notice, and it can help you now. And it can help you now in facing the shadows. All right. Don't let them get the best of you. Address your wounds. Address your wounds, and why you're afraid to let certain things go, or why you're afraid to have certain things change. What's the fear behind it? Where is the shadow coming from? Trace it back. Trace it back. Where did it come from? Where was that feeling familiar? And then trace it back further. Find where it came from. Connect the dots for yourself. Feel along the walls where you're going. You know what I mean? Feel your way through the shadows, and you will come out and you will find the light. All right. So all of my information's in the description if you need it or want it. And until next time, guys, this is Divine Rebel Racey signing off, and I'll always love each other, and most importantly, love yourselves.